Good morning. We are delighted at the MDA, Mississippi Development Authority, to be a part of this, where we get to share together some of the cool things that are happening in and around our state. I want you to know this one thing as we get ready to talk this morning. When I was 11 years old, I had the opportunity to get up before the sun every morning and have my dad take me to the corner, and I'd pick up newspapers, take them back home, fold them up, put rubber bands around them, get on my bike, go around the neighborhood, and I was in business being a newspaper delivery boy. You remember those days? Things have really changed, have they not? You know, I loved it. My part of the distribution of news and of making money and entrepreneurship sort of led to what we do every day at the Mississippi Development Authority in helping entrepreneurs throughout our state to bring new and ever-expanding businesses into our area. And we're going to see two great examples of that today. After serving as general manager of the Hattiesburg American from March through September of this year, Nathan Edwards has recently joined the Clarion Ledger team here in Jackson as of October the 1st as president and publisher of the Clarion Ledger and Mississippi Media. Prior to Hattiesburg, Nathan was vice president of sales for the Augusta Chronicle and classifieds director for the Chattanooga Times Free Press. He has played a role in helping shape plans that will lead newspapers further into the digital age. In 2001, Nathan earned a degree in computer information systems and began developing websites, focusing on HTML and ASP languages and database designs. Spending more than a decade in newspapers across the Southeast, Nathan has worked with countless businesses to create custom marketing plans to accelerate their profitability and to build their brand. In 2014, the Southern Newspapers Publishers Association chose him to be a strategic part of their Next Generation program, which is designed for up-and-comers who represent what the future of newspaper and newspaper executives will be like. Despite his focus on digital properties, Nathan still maintains a love for print, as I think most of us do, and believes it plays a critical role in our local communities. Please help me this morning to welcome my good friend, Nathan Edwards.
Thank you, everybody. What a great introduction. I definitely appreciate that. Huge focus. When we talk about the newspaper industry, over the last decade, have you noticed some changes? Just a few. We talked about the newspaper delivery. We've talked about print. We've talked about digital. Yes, my background, my degree is in computer information systems. So I've come a long way from designing websites, writing the code, starting to work with a newspaper back in early 2001, not only trying to sell ads and do things for local businesses, but was actually back then helping to write the code to develop the website for the newspaper that I was working for. Things have definitely come a long way. I want to start out today talking a little bit about our company, Mississippi Media, the Clarion Ledger, and also a little bit about Gannett, some of the focus that we have out there and kind of the direction of where we're going. So Gannett, if you're not familiar, a next generation media company empowering the community, trying to make sure that people can act and thrive with what they're doing on a daily basis. We're always trying to evolve. We're always trying to find the ways to connect to people and how they're wanting to consume information. A whole lot different than what we have done in the past, which was put out a great daily product all the time. We've got to focus to make sure that that daily product is always there, as good as it possibly can be, but also find the ways to connect with the masses that are out there looking for information to stay informed. We're trying to help serve the communities in every way, shape, and form, disseminating the good news and everything in between, the breaking news and things of that nature. And we're also trying to make sure that we can connect with businesses to move them forward. Every dollar that a business has today is extremely valuable, and the marketing that they put out there has got to get results. And so we are focusing on that all at the same time, and that's where Mississippi Media comes in. Talking about innovation this past year, Mississippi Media kind of was born, part of the Clarion Ledger, Magnolia Magazine, and a lot of other entities coming into one. Great new brand, great new reputation that we have out in the community, and we're continuing to build on that. So change is going to happen, and how you respond is really and truly what defines you. So 10 years ago, newspapers were really and truly measured or defined based off of their circulation. Circulation has changed, no question about it. Today is much more about how we reach individuals. And so when we talk about innovation, it's not just the print reach, but it's also the digital reach, and that's where the innovation has really come into the newspaper industry over the last decade. It is desktop, mobile, social media, tweets, Facebook, you name it. We're experimenting in just about every different social media or digital platform that is out there today. And really and truly, that is now what defines us. Finding ways to connect with people in every way, shape, or form possible. And so when we talk about Gannett, when I came to the company back in March, I actually came back to Gannett in March of 2015, we had 82 properties across the U.S. Today we have 106. We have expanded greatly over the last several months, and including USA Today, we have 100 million average monthly digital audience going to our websites, but still maintain about 4.1 million printed circulation local editions going out across communities across the U.S. We average about 1.4 billion monthly page views, and when you kind of sum that up, that's about 35% of the U.S. internet traffic going to newspaper websites. That is phenomenal. That was a stat that I had to read twice just to make sure that it was right. And in addition to that, 62 million unique mobile visitors every single month. Mobile is one of the biggest ways we're trying to branch out when it comes to innovation in that space. A lot of different ways that we're doing that, and some of which I can't even show you here today, but one that Gannett was talking about just this week is virtual reality reporting, and 360-degree GoPro cameras and things of that nature, putting people into situations where the user has control of what's going on site for any live breaking news event that is happening, and allowing them to pan, scan, and really be involved, part of the breaking news that is happening. 938 million mobile minutes spent on mobile sites on a monthly basis. For us at the Clarion Ledger, again, our audience has expanded. Back in 2005, we had roughly 174,000 readers across the market, the newspaper designated market for the Clarion Ledger. Today, we reach 71% of the market adults across that same area, but it's through print and online. So again, trying to find the ways to connect to everybody in between. This past month, 695,000 unique visitors to our website just on the desktop. Mobile, another 628,000 uniques, summing everything up to just about 8 million page views. And then we get into social scenes like Facebook, where we have 53,000 likes, 400,000 users coming. We're sharing information on a daily basis, trying to make sure that people are staying informed. And then with tweets, 6,255 tweets sent out from July 1st to November the 10th, and nearly 10,000 mentions as a result of that, messages tagging us for comments and things of that nature. Growing total audience, we have to still find ways to still further get out into the community in different ways, targeting different audiences all the way through. Magnolia Magazine is a great example of that, with a targeted audience trying to go and find individuals who have certain criteria, if you will, for household incomes, locations that they live, and things of that nature, to connect our advertisers to individual audiences that are ready, willing, and able to buy potentially from them. In addition to that, we branched out this past year into new events, something that we'll definitely continue to try to find for this next year. The event this year that was launched was Best of MS Preps. We had Drew Brees come in as a guest speaker. We had 2,500 people show up at the event at the Jackson Convention Center, and that's just one way that we had branched out this year with something brand new. And then even new content, native advertising, allowing businesses to get involved and actually showcase products, services, and things of that nature within our printed products, on digital platforms and things of that nature. And then you might have noticed here recently too, another new initiative, Best Of. We actually had 232 categories, online voting platforms, the whole 9 yards, to allow our readers, individual market adults, to come out and vote on businesses that they thought were the best of in a particular category. An 88-page special section was born out of that, showcasing all of the individual winners and a new website dedicated to it as well. So a lot of things have changed. Digital services also change. I love to be working with Gannett, who has millions of dollars, a huge internet IT backbone, always trying to stay on the forefront of what is out there, what is going to help connect businesses. And today, almost 30% of every dollar we earn comes from digital products and services. And so we've got to continue to make sure that we are the pioneers and trying to figure out the ways that we can really make businesses work better. And so we are innovation at work. Every day we come into the office, we have think tanks, we have everybody trying to work together to brainstorm to come and really make things better for businesses in this area. So with that, I would love to take any questions that you guys have. Innovation is all about new ideas, new products, moving things forward in the business community. And I see a lot of good potential here. And looking at this conference and the ideas that could be generated today, I'm really excited about the future.
This morning, I want to tell you that most people think that Peavey is a small amplifier company from Meridian, Mississippi. And let me move over here. I haven't seen this. But what I really want to tell you is, did you know that it's literally impossible to fly anywhere in the world without listening to audio produced by Peavey Electronics? Peavey is distributed in 136 countries worldwide, and Peavey has earned 180 patents. We have 130 active patents today in music and sound industry. One of the most interesting products is Peavey's Media Matrix. And if you will note, I'll tell you a little bit about Media Matrix. We're a hardware company. In 1993, Hartley saw the vision, or had the vision and belief about the digital world. And he fundamentally changed the pro audio industry. Peavey's Media Matrix systems gave rise to distributed digital audio and processing. And it introduced the concept of, we were the first, digital networking, audio and control distribution for sound in large venues. So Mississippi was the first there. And most people in this room have been to Disney. And every sound you hear at Disney flows through Media Matrix from Meridian, Mississippi. All the sound you hear at Disney, it's just awkward because I'm kind of muffling up here. The sound in the Heathrow Airport in London, in Beijing's airport in China, the Hong Kong Sky Plaza, Phoenix Sky Harbor, and SeaTac Airport in Seattle, Tacoma, and of course the Atlanta Airport, which is the home of Delta, the largest airline in the world, Phoenix Airport. I could go on with the airports. If you go to Las Vegas, most of the casinos, like the Bellagio and the MGM Grand, Caesar's Palace, all run on Media Matrix. We also have a number of convention centers, Opryland Convention Center, Hard Rock cafes, sports arenas around the world. We did the Olympic stadiums, the World Cup Stadium in South Korea, the Kuala Lumpur Convention Center, for which we won a world award because of the design. That's the one on the far right. Very difficult situation, but great sound now. Sydney Opera House runs on Media Matrix. We have 10,000 installations of this product, and it's in its 4th generation. It's extremely expensive to write and extend the code. Thousands and thousands of lines of code. When we did the Beijing airport, it had to be converted into Chinese. You can imagine the stress. My hair went gray because the Chinese are great at ripping you off. And so we would do it in sections and move the sections. It was a difficult thing. But now we are doing more airports there. We're also the sound of the New York Stock Exchange, the Samsung headquarters in Seoul, Korea, George Lucas's Skywalker facility in Lucas Valley, California. We run on MediaMatrix. And everything you hear in the House and Senate, the sound is MediaMatrix. From little old Meridian, Mississippi, how about that? Throughout the 50 years that Hartley has had Peavey Electronics, he's produced, as I said, 180 unique patents. We have great engineers, fantastic people here, and they have changed the lives of everyone on the planet that hears audio. Hartley started out in 1965 with literally nothing. He had $8,000 his father had given him from what he had saved sending him to college. His father had given him his tuition, and he gave him $12.50 a week for food. He ate 50-cent spaghetti in the cafeteria, and to this day, he loves spaghetti. I don't know why, but he does. So he started out and made the smallest guitar amp, and he would make an amp and he would take it to a dealer and try to sell it. But what happened is that the dealer would say, look, son, we've got a lot of guitar amp companies. We don't need any more of that. And so if you would make some PA, which is an old word, but public address systems is what they were talking about, we need PA. And so at that time, the thing that was selling was a Shure product, and it was, let me see, I think it cost $1,000. It was called a Shure Vocal Master. And Hartley, being an innovator, studied that very closely, and he took it all apart, found out how he could make it a different way, and in making it a different way, he could make it for half the cost of the Shure. And that's when his business took off. So the first one he made was a PA3 at half the price. And $1,000 was a whole lot of money back then. It is today. But at half that, you can imagine how his sales picked up. In 1977, this is a major innovation and one that I'm most proud of what Hartley has done. And that is that he is a gun collector, and he would go out to different gun factories, and he observed that the guns were being made on NC routers. And so thinking in plant 2, they were making guitars, and the sanding and the buffing and the one would be right, one is not right, the tuning, he thought to himself, surely you could make a guitar on an NC router. And that's what he did. He made the first, he was the first ever to do that, and that allowed him to make consistently good guitars at a low price. And guess what, today? Fender, Gibson, Takanini, anybody who makes guitars, that's the way they make them. So again, a Mississippi first. So I was really proud of that. Let's give him a hand. But it's a well-kept secret among our competitors. Hartley worked with Eddie Van Halen to produce an amp that has become the 6505. It's been the best-selling amp in the country since its inception. Today it's more popular than ever, and it is recognized as the uncontested sound of metal. In 1995, Peavey released the Trans Tube. Its signature innovative, is 1995 up there? Its signature innovative amplifier. It's a tube technology and unique it's a patented system, of course, and it's the sound that runs in our best-selling Viper series, which is the best-selling modeling amp in the country today. In 2008, we saw the release of Peavey's Revolver modeling amplifying software, and it is extremely unbelievable if you get this software that you can actually design your own amplifier virtually. It's just amazing. And the program pioneered unprecedented deep editing of virtual components like tubes, power supplies, and tone stacks at the circuit level. It is the premier software package for guitar amp modeling and is used in world-class recording studios and stages, concert stages around the world. In 2009, another innovation, an award-winning Viper modeling amplifier hit the market from Meridian, Mississippi, from Hartley and his engineers. These groundbreaking amplifiers changed the scope of an entire market. And most Viper features are imitated by our competitors today. It provides everything that a guitar player needs in a box, one box. Because usually, you know, they've got the pedals, they've got this, everything is right there. And you can play as though you were playing through a Marshall, a Fender, Gibson, whatever kind of, you think that it models the sound of that amplifier. So young people, and particularly young players, absolutely love it. And we make it so that we don't make much money off of it, but it introduces them to Peavey, and it is a fantastic amplifier. I think it's the best modeling amplifier on the market. In 2010, there we are up there with the IPR series and power amps. One of the complaints of people and musicians in the field is the weight of products. This amplifier weighs 7 pounds. I can hold it in my hand. It was produced by a man in our group, a senior engineer named Dietz Gingelbach. Dietz goes by the name J.D. Bennett because J.D.'s father was one of the defectors in Germany who worked on the A-bomb. He was one of the group that came over, and we think that J.D. is truly a genius, and he is. And this is one of his products. It puts out 1,600 watts, 1,600 watts at under 7 pounds. So the cost is pennies per watt. And then one of our most recent products is the RBN series of speaker enclosures, and it is the world famous now ribbon drivers, used in studio environments for decades. Peavey's innovation brings this high quality sound technology to powered speaker enclosures designed for live applications like Madonna and Sting. They use this product. A few years ago, we released the world's finest fiber graphite guitars. They are called composite acoustic guitars. Hartley likes to refer to this as the forever guitar because it can outlive its owner. And these guitars are made from incredibly strong graphite or carbon fiber, which delivers amazing tone. It is impervious to moisture and changes of temperature. We stay back ordered on these. Florida Georgia Line, Brantley Gilbert, Willie Nelson, Jimmy Buffett, all play this guitar. And artists who have them love them because you can take them to the beach, you can take them to the ski slope, and they don't change tune, they stay in tune. It's been a wonderful thing. You can even use it as a boat paddle if you want to. So I'd like for you to see this video showing in a way that Peavey innovated. We worked hard to find a way to help the people in Haiti when there was the awful earthquake. And so this video will tell you just a little bit about that.
I never in a million years would have thought that I would end up in Haiti. What the rain catchers does is they install water systems up on houses that catch rainwater and bring fresh, clean drinking water to people that are literally dying without it. My first time in Haiti, out comes my guitar and I'm watching these kids, their eyes just kind of light up, boom, 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 wondering what that is. Most of them have never seen a guitar before. It is so humid. I mean, you're in the clouds. Nothing made of wood can survive in this demographic. And I start thinking to myself, my goodness, why should your climate or your demographic dictate whether or not you could ever play guitar? I mean, that just seemed crazy to me. I start bringing up guitars as I go, everything from my Taylor to my Gibsons, everything that we got. One by one, crumbling at the seams. Bridges collapse in, necks warp, bindings on the seams of my guitars split apart. This place is hell for guitars. It destroys anything made of wood. And this culture, it's just entangled in music. But it's all rhythm, because all they have are drums up there. So I get home and I just start thinking, there's got to be a company out there that makes something that could survive these elements. So I get online, I start searching, and up comes Composite Acoustics. So I write them, I start explaining what we're doing, and they say, man, we have the perfect guitar for you. This thing is completely resilient to all climates, all temperatures, water, humidity. It's one solid piece, so it's never gonna bow or warp. And best of all, the thing sounds amazing. So Composite Acoustics agrees to get us one of these guitars, and we were going out to Haiti. They met us in the Miami airport. They hand-delivered it to us. Composite Acoustics has bridged the gap for us to be able to bring music to a people in a place that never had it before.
In closing, I'll show you a picture. Partly, he just got back from London, where he was given an international award. Only two have ever been given. He was given the award for Media Matrix and Sound, and he's shown with his digital team from the PAC realm and from Europe. So thank you very much for letting me come see you. I think we need to foster innovation in our young people and make them not afraid to try something new or not afraid to fail. Because many of the innovations that you see that work so beautifully today failed in the beginning, and we want those young people to step up to the plate and be proud of Mississippi, proud of what they can do. And if they look at the people around them with the great success, I'm hoping that they will want to emulate that.
So I'm really excited. It was really interesting to hear Peavey, all the innovations, the more than 100 patents they have. Obviously, they're known as an innovation company, but a lot of people think of innovation only in apps and technology. Theirs is clearly a technology company, but it's interesting to think in the music industry to have so many patents and so much innovation.
If people have questions like more information, what should they do?
So they can contact us through our website at innovate.ms, or just through Googling us, they'll be able to find contact information as well for Innovate Mississippi.